In today's video, I'm going to walk you through how to use a vToken function which named LoopStake to amplify your staking rewards for multiple times by only one click. Right now, we are on the Bifrost app dashboard page, and I'm showing you how to easily get into the LoopStake page. If you click the vToken, let's say V dot, and there is a tag in the above LoopStake, and we get inside. This is the page that we need. Okay, before we get into the operations of LoopStake, we do know what is LoopStake, right? So in the first box of this page, there are two information. The first one is learn more. If you click this, it will direct you to the page to explain you what is LoopStake. And the second one is the audit report. We will go to mainly explain the meaning of LoopStake. So easily saying, LoopStake is something a tool by using a land market, which can amplify your principal and increase your staking rewards multiple times. Let's say if you have one V dot as the principal, and the land market, the system of LoopStake will help you to borrowing out more of dot and then stake them to V dot. So on your position, you are expanding of your V dot position by only one V dot as the principal. So it means you are leveraging position and you getting amplify your staking rewards for leveraged times. So this graph literally explains the easiest way that the loop stake helps you to establishing your position. And then we can get deeply into how it works. Here is the user that trying to use the loop stake by 10 V dot as the principal, and the user A, let's say Alice, the Alice wants to leverage 4 times of 10 V dot, so she actually put the principal into the loop stake. And then there is the atomic transaction for borrowing and burning. So firstly, the system helped Alice to issue 36 dot and then mint it to B dot and deposit to the land market. And then the system also helps the Alice to borrow out the dot, which is what Alice had borrowed, to borrow out the dot and then burn it. So on the supply and the borrowing side right now is balanced. But the position right now for Alice is Alice has depth of 36 dot and the collateral right now is 40 V dot. So compared to Alice's position of the principal 10 V dot, Alice is leveraging her position for 4 times, which means the staking rewards is amplifying for 4 times. So that's the logic of a loop stake. Well, let us go back to the main page. Let's keep our eyes on this box, the dot lending market history, which has 3 different coefficients, the total supply, total borrowing, and the utilization. If you have used any of the lending market or money market protocols, you should know the supply is the total asset in the vault, and the total borrowing is how much of the asset that you can borrow out from the vault, from the pool, and the utilization is the percentage of a borrowing from the pool. With the utilization growing, the supply APY and the borrowing APY will increase as well, synchronized. So if we go into supply and we are actually yielding from the supply interest, I will show you how to deposit dot into the supplement and earn the yield from it. Deposit into the supplement pool is simply as the same as if you deposit into other farming pools. Just by only one click, you input the number and you click the deposit. So you are actually supplying the liquidity into this lending pool. And we click confirm. And succeed. So yeah, we can see the information of our position in this pool. This is my position. The free means the available fund can be withdrawn from the pool since we are a supplier and in the opposite there's borrower, right? If the utilization of this lending market is going to 100%, then it means nothing can be withdrawn from the supply side. But if the utilization goes to 100%, then the supply APY goes up dramatically, and the borrowing APY as well. So more people would like to provide liquidity into it, and the borrower might be lower their position in the borrowing side. So that's the balance of the lending and borrowing market. The auto rebate, it means when you withdrawing your position out, the reward will be involved in your position. This is how you can operate the withdrawal. Also click the deposit and go to withdraw and input the number that you want to withdraw. Yeah, so this is how this works. Well, let us move back to the main page, and I will direct you to how to create your leveraged position. On the right side of this page, the first box indicates how much of the V dot in the position, and the second one is the APY that you yielding for. I'll explain you later once we create the one. And then two button, deposit and withdraw. So deposit is transferring some of token, some of fund into your LoopStake account. So it's literally like a money market. So you need to transfer some fund into it to start using this function. So first thing first, we need to deposit some asset into our account to create the leverage position. And we're using the V dot as a case. In LoopStake, V dot and VKSM is temporarily supported in this function, and further, more of V token will be involved. So V dot, let's say we deposit one V dot as our principal, okay? We can see the information right here, one V dot, and the leveraged V dot is from 0 to 1. So this is the sum up of your leveraged position. It means right now we are having one V dot as the principal to create this position. And this is the times of leverage. So it is 1. Let's create this one. All right, we've setting up our position. And right now, yeah, we see the information are changing because the funds came in. So the balance of our V dot as a principal is 1. And we see here it's a bar from low to high. It means the leverage time that you holding. The second box, it indicates some in the information about current APY of the leverage. So the staking APY is the V dot yield bearing APY, and naturally it has 16%. And borrow APY is what you need to pay for in this lend and borrow market. So the interest of borrowing rate is 15%. And the leverage effect, this is one the essential coefficient. It indicates how much of a percentage of APY that you can earn on top of each leverage. So the total APY right now is 16% without any leverage that we're creating. Let us try if we adjust our leverage position to, let's say 2, okay? So it means 2 times of your leveraging, and it provides you actual 0.87% of the APY. So 0.87% is the leverage effect, which means that we have created one leverage on top of our principal, right? And if we leverage 3 times, then it is doubling the leverage effect. This is 3 times of leverage, and the maximum of this leverage position is 4 times. This is the maximum. And you can see here's the small arrow that you cannot click here because the maximum is 4 times. And it creates you 3 times of the leverage upon your principal. Let us try maybe create the 3 times of the leverage. And the box in the below will give us some information about our status of the collateral or position. I will explain you this part once we create our position, okay? we need to click this boost, and then there are more information. So our leverage is creating from 1 time to 3 times of leverage. And the estimated APY is growing from 16%, which is the yield bearing APY of the V dot, growing to 74%, which adding up 2 times the leverage effect on top of our V dot base APY. In the below, we can see the changes regarding our current position. The collateral means the total found inside of our account, which is the sum up of our principal plus what we have borrowed. And the real V dot, it is our principal. We deposited 1 V dot, so which equals to 1.4 dot in terms of dot, right? LTV, loan to value. If you ever use the regular lending and borrowing market, money market, you should know the LTV is the most important effect that relates to the liquidation of your position. So on Bifrost, we have LTV, and your LTV right now is 66%, and the max LTV is 75%, but there's no liquidation LTV. It means even if your LTV breaks through the max LTV of 75%, your position will still be there and not be liquidated. It's interesting, right? That's a dedicated, unique function of Bifrost leverage staking. Let me explain you why there's no liquidation. Let's get back to this documentation and go into the bottom. There's no liquidation risk, right? Let me give you an example to compare between the regular money market and the money market behind LoopStake, so we know why Bifrost is unique with no liquidation risk. So in a normal money market like Aave, you can supply the fund as your collateral on one side and then borrowing out on the other side. So in the supply menu, you can select any of this token to being as your collateral. Let's say we select ETH, okay? And then we borrow out BTC. Let's say in the secondary market, the price of ETH is dropping down, but the BTC price is constant. It's not changing. So it means the LTV of our position is keep growing, and if the growing up to, let's say, they have 95% of liquidation threshold, right? If the LTV going over, then 95% or position will be liquidated. So that's two non-relative price token, which means in a normal money market, the protocol need to liquidate you to pay the debt, right? And make sure the protocol itself won't lose money. But what is relative token? So relative token is two tokens that with the price relatively, with one token rising up and the other one rises as well. With one falls down, the other one falls down as well. So it is the case between dot and the V dot. So if we check this trend between these two tokens, we can see the curve and the trend is mostly the same, right? So that's two relative token. It means your LTV will be constant, and then there's no dramatically price changing between these two tokens. So your LTV keeps still. Your position won't be liquidated easily. But there is extremely case, okay? Let's see on this spot, the V dot, which has dramatically falls down. It might be a well user to exchange in the DAX, and then the price dramatically goes down. But after several hours, the price of V dot back on track with dot price. This is because there are arbitrators. So don't forget the principle of V dot, right? The V dot can always redeem dot in a constant exchange price. If we go to Bifrost app, so this green line is the exchange rate between dot and V dot. You can always redeem at this exchange rate. And what arbitrageurs are doing is like they purchasing the discount price of V dot at this point, and then they redeem with the exchange rate to dot, and then they get the profit the V dot arbitrage profit from it. So that's the strategy for the arbitrages. That's also the reason why the price of V dot back on track in several hours. So in LoopStake, it doesn't need liquidation, right? Okay, that's a bit of a long story. Let's get back to our position setting up. So we're back here and all leverage 3 times and boosted. Here's a risk warning. If you are a newbie, please read these contents carefully. It will direct you to the documentation. You already know the logic behind the LoopStake, so let's keep going. Okay, all position setting up. Yeah, we're focused around here, right? The LTV is going to 66%. Our collateral now is being 4.2 dot. It is plus our principal and the V dot and the dot that we have borrowed. So our net value is the principal is 1.4 dot, and we borrowed 2.8 dot clearly. And on the above, what we have 3 V dot, right? Our principal was 1 V dot, which was in 1.4 dot, and now we have 3. It's 3 times of leveraging what we just operated, and the APY also increased. And in the next step, let's see how to adjust our positions. Here is our position right now, and the little arrow you can see. If you click the above one, we can increase the leveraging. So it is totally the same as what we setting up the position, okay? But if we trying to decrease the position, then it's different. It says lower your position. If you click this, you can see we have 2 options. The first one is the swap mode and the other one is the redeem mode. So we go to the swap mode first. We're trying to decrease our position from 3 times of leveraging to 2.5, and then the estimated APY is shown here. It will be decreased as well. The swap mode, which means the system will help us to swap or adapt to dot and then pay back our bill. So our position is full of V dot right now, right? It's 3 V dot, and we borrowed 2.8 dot in terms of V dot. So the system will help us to swap that V dot into dot and pay for that. It says the collateral right now is decreasing and the borrowed will decrease as well, and the net value of our principal will decrease because there is a swap loss. The swap loss is reflected in the slippage when we swap in a DEX, right? So the slippage will be paid from our principal. That's the reason why the net value of our principal is going down as well. And then it's the decreasing of our LTV. So let's try this mode. Okay, succeed. And we shall see, yes, our position is going down and the APY dropped down as well. And the bar, which moved from the 3 times of leveraging to 2.5 times. And then this is the next mode, the redeem mode. The redeem mode, which needs us to manually operate this because it needs us to pay our debt first and then withdraw the V dot from the account and redeem the V dot to dot and then pay our debt again until the position is cleared. This is a click that we can pay our debt, repay. So if we pay 2.1 dot, then the remaining debt will be 0 and the leverage will decrease to only 1 times of leverage, which is the base of our position. Okay, we see the LTV going back to 0. The collateral is 3.5 dot in terms of V dot. It's right here. If you still remember, what we deposited, it was 1 V dot, right? But right now we have 2.4, approximately 2.5 V dot, because we paid the DApp by using dot, and then the V dot that we have borrowed is leaving our account. So what we need to do is withdraw those amount of V dot and then redeem. Let's say we withdraw 1.4 and we keep the principal still, okay? Okay, succeed. And in our account, we only have about 1 V dot and is similar as what we setting up at the beginning. And we need to go to the V dot page and then redeem that. What we just got is 1.4 V dot, right? And redeem it to dot. You can use whatever it is, the Lightning mode, which is the swap mode, or we use the regular mode. Yeah, succeed. And you can see the circle right here. It's interesting, right? So the right one is what we have in the leveraging position, and the green one is the available, and the gray one is the statute under the unstaking. If you don't know the statute and information about liquid staking on this page, you can go to see the video that we introduced the liquid stake. And then all we need to do is just to wait until the unstaking quest, the redemption quest being executed, and we are clear. So this is the routine and how it works under the manually position decreasing mode. So I hope you enjoy. That's all the operations and functions regarding LoopStake.